Give Clemson credit, great win for them. And then, I thought it was a well-played game by both teams. It's life in the ACC where you just, this is the first time this has happened to us in the 2 years here in the ACC where I thought we played well and lost the game, and that's kind of what happened. We played well for the most part, and I felt what hurt us was two things. We had that lead in the first half, and we just, that's kind of been one of our things this year. We haven't been able just to bury a team. Part of that is just youth and understanding of that. And then the second thing is that started the second half. Thomas got a couple buckets on Ben, and then we got a little cold there, and that was the difference in the game. But the reason we had a chance to win the game or tie the game was because we took care of the ball for the most part. We only had 9 turnovers, 3 the first half, 6 the second half, and Brandon Alston had a great look in the corner there, and then Josh had a look at the layup there. I didn't have any timeouts. I usually like to have one late, but I used one when Ben got fouled. He was a little tired, and I called a 30 to give him a chance to catch his breath to make the free throws, and obviously that didn't work out since he missed the front end of the 1-on-1. But bottom line is it was a well-played game by both teams, and obviously Clemson came out on top.
You had another 4-point play right before the half, another momentum killer. That's got to be head scratching at this point.
Yeah, no, and that's Curtis Haywood. I mean, he's a freshman, and he's got to know better. It's back-to-back games now. I will say, last game versus Florida State, even though they called a 4-point play, the league did send us a note saying that it should have been an offensive foul on Florida State, and they used that clip for a training video for the rest of the officials. But obviously, the amount of sleep I lost, there's no consolation on that. So, but that being said, that's our third 4-point play in the last 4 games. We've had 3 games where we've had a 4-point play, and they've all been in key situations, end of halves, and it's been frustrating and aggravating, and part of that is youth and just we got to get tougher. There's some areas we got to get tougher, but that's part of where we're at in the program is as we continue to build and move forward and in the rebuild that's part of what we got to do is get tougher. And in this league, you got to be tough. And but I thought AD played well for us. He was 6 of 9 in the first half, and he hit only 1 field goal the second half. It was 1 for 5. Ben had a couple great looks right there at the top of the key. That's his sweet spot, and he missed a couple that were tough for us. But bottom line is I felt overall we played well, and just came on the short end.
You had another game from Josh tonight that you expect from him as sort of your leader offensively and defensively.
Yeah, the one thing with him is like that one last play where he got fouled and he got to the free throw line to tie it up. He just willed us to get to the free throw line and threw a great pass to to Brandon, who had a great look, and then him keeping up with the offensive glass there. His effort and his motor was just an internal will to find a way, and proud of him for that. That last play, Reed, was AD and Ben were right there to block the shot. When they got the ball to score and go up, and they didn't make a block attempt. I would have liked for them. They should have had a chance to block it. But that being said, Josh had a great drive late, and he was at the rim. He just missed it.
I see Todrick Jackson and give you the output that you probably would have liked it. Was there anything that Clemson was doing to maybe take him out of the game?
Todrick's got to be better.
It seems like he has not played well last year.
Todrick's a phenomenal young man, and he's a sweet young man, and I love him dearly, and he's a tremendous human being, and he's a good person, and he's got to be better on the floor.
Josh, given the things that happened last year that were kind of out of the blue, could you have anticipated a losing team going into the
No, I thought, obviously, we dropped some games early that obviously hurt us, but I would also say that I have told everybody, I told my bosses, I told anyone that would hear me, that would listen to me. I said it from all along, and even and Todd Stansberry and I talked about this even in the summer and in the fall, that this was going to be the hardest year of the entire, as I call it, a rebuild. And why is because I knew that we were losing the 3 seniors, and who were 23 years of age, and Quentin, Josh, and Corey. And then the second part is Ben had played, Ben was at such a level last year that, there was no sneak. He didn't play his freshman and sophomore year, so he wasn't going to sneak up on anybody. And so I knew the youth coming into this season, and I just knew this was going to be a hard year. Now, maybe how it got to be hard, there was different reasons, obviously, but either way, I knew this was going to be the hardest year. And would I like to have more wins? Of course. And should we have a couple more wins? Absolutely. But regardless, this year was going to be the hardest year, as I personally felt. Now, I say that, and that means, there's still a lot of games left, but also that means next year's and the year after it's got to be much better than it is this year to this point, out for this one individual season. But we still got a lot of games left, and we've gotten better. Like, we really played well tonight. We executed well. This is the ACC. And we're relying on Jose Alvarado for 40 minutes, basically, as a freshman point guard. And Jose's going to be a great player for us. But you got to remember now, he wasn't McDonald's All-American. He wasn't one of, going to be a first-round draft pick after his freshman year. I mean, he wasn't even a top 100 kid. And so, but I loved his toughness, is why we wanted him. And he's going to be a great 4-year player for us, and we're committed to him. And so him being in the fire, all this stuff's going to be really good for him in the long term. And I think AD has just gotten better and better and better. So, we'll just keep getting at it. Josh had an injury earlier, and we need Curtis Haywood is going to be a good player. Hasn't been himself since the injury, and he was playing at a high level, and then he got injured, and so it's just, we're young in a lot of areas that we're counting on guys to produce for us.
There was a stretch, 2 possessions in a row. Jose lost the ball and Josh lost the ball. Pick sixes that seemed to, it gave them the cushion they needed the rest of the game.
Yeah, no, those pick sixes can just have bitten us in the butt, and as well as we did take care of the ball, those are 2 big turnovers because it's back to back and they were both pick sixes. And but like Jose made that pass, and that's just, again, those are things that he's going to have to continue to improve on. Now he did a much better job of not picking the ball up early for the game, and kept his dribble alive. And the other thing is he still had a bad shot where he'll go in there and try to go against the trees instead of making the right play. But he's tough, and there's just as tough as he is, you're going to live with some mistakes along the way. But those 2 back-to-back turnovers were obviously a key point. That was a big 4-point swing.
You talked throughout the year about the one maybe defensive flaw was stopping the dribble going to the basket.
Yep.
And
Well, we've been so good from 3-point range, and let me tell you this: I really like this team. Our team, we're getting better. I know it doesn't show maybe on the scoreboard, and I understand that's what we're judged by. But I'm just telling you, we're getting better. Individual guys are getting better. I see the big picture. I have a clear vision on how we need to get to where we need to get to, and it's going to happen. It's just, we've had some bumps in the road this year. There's no question about that. But we're going to get better and continue to improve. And defensively, we've been really good from guarding the 3. And man, the kid tonight, DeVoe, just hit some great 3-point shots. I mean, they were deep. We've had hand in their face, and that was, they were 7 of 13 the first half, and then the kid Shelton hits all those threes, and so that was a big difference in the game there.
A couple more for Coach Pastner.
He used a little double post in the game.
Yep.
It seemed like Ben did a nice job of actually finding AD and creating some offense there.
Those 2 played well off of each other, and right now, AD's become one of our best, if not our best, scorer at times, throwing him the ball. He's got such a pretty jump hook, so we got to keep doing that. And then Ben's going to get open opportunities of shooting. He's just, he's got to make it. Those are from the sweet spot there.
Coach, they didn't score a 2-point field goal until 6 minutes and 42 seconds left in the first half. How proud are you as far as defensively and how they make the play?
Well, we've guarded. It's just they hit some crazy threes. And we came in as, we were the best in the ACC at 3-point defense, and they just hit. You got to give them credit. They hit deep threes and hand in their face threes, and that bit us in the butt.